If you're a fan of the Ratatouille film, you may have taken a look around the console versions of the game in hopes of getting your subsequent Rat Chef fix. Unfortunately, you may have noticed that we weren't overly enthusiastic over the recent console versions of the title due to their problems and general lack of fun. Thankfully, a different studio, Locomotive Games, handled the PSP version of everyone's favorite Ratville adventure, which delivers a more refined and refreshing take on the same basic mechanics. While not fantastic, the PSP Ratatouille succeeds at being a simple, fun platformer that better represents what the console versions could have achieved. Ratatouille, like its counterparts, puts you in control of Remy, a seriously civilized rodent with a particular taste for fine cuisine. Right away, the difference in the versions makes itself wholly clear. Unlike the console iterations of Ratatouille, the PSP game has a much more straightforward, sensible plotline. As standard as it may be, it at least feels more solid than the immensely wishy-washy story that loosely flowed throughout the console titles. In this version of Ratatouille, Remy is helping prepare a bunch of recipes for Linguini and Colette's future restaurant. Right before the restaurant undergoes its grand opening, Skinner, the evil chef, steals all of Linguini's recipes in a singular act of deviousness. It's up to Remy and the other members of the rat colony to help retrieve the missing recipes and save Linguini and Colette's business endeavors. As average as this setup may sound, it's so much better than the terribly convoluted and almost non-existent story of Ratatouille's console counterparts. And plot isn't the only aspect of the game that's handled better on the PSP. The game's structure as a whole is easily recognizable and more rewarding. The rat colony is now the central hub for your game, but in a much simpler way. You have access to 5 themed worlds from the colony, and that's it. Each world has a handful of missions that you select right at the portal, and it'll keep track of what recipes you've fetched and how many star keys you've collected used for unlocking more recipes. The control mechanics are also much tighter here than on the other versions. Ratatouille is still an average platformer, but it works well, and it's far more important. Among the notable differences, Remy can actually swim now. He won't die instantly as soon as he touches water. He sticks to ropes and poles instead of requiring constant balance adjustment. And he can toggle between scampering on all fours for moving quickly and normal platforming, as opposed to having a limited time restriction for running. These changes really help make the game more enjoyable. Furthermore, you have the opportunity to collect cheese throughout each mission, which can be used to purchase upgrades for Remy, boosting his health, attack combos, speed, and other important attributes. This borderline RPG element enriches the gameplay and instills in you a passion for collecting cheese. Who would have thought? Which is the most welcome improvement. However, our favorite difference between the Ratatouille games is the blessed absence of constant audio clues that were present in the console versions. Those were easily the most annoying/frustrating traits that Locomotive thankfully chose not to include, relying instead on pop-up help text that Gusteau, your spiritual helper, chef, supplies, which can even be ignored if you wish. As great as this all sounds, Ratatouille is still a very simple, somewhat bland platformer that doesn't do anything spectacular. Although the story is much easier to swallow, it assumes you've seen the movie or are at least familiar with the plot, which could get some people into trouble. On top of that, we would have liked to see a few more cinematic scenes or maybe some more involved dialogue, because the majority of the game is saturated with Remy's dad ordering him around on various missions, and that's just not cool. Also, on the mechanical side of things, the game's camera control can get a little frustrating, forcing you to wrestle around in tight spots and small corridors, which certainly doesn't help the experience. Ratatouille is fun, even though it's not the best platformer out there. There's a lot to do, and the game also features an ad hoc mode where you can race or collect cheese with a friend who also has the game. Ultimately, though, if you're interested in playing a Ratatouille game, this is probably the one to go with, because it's simply more fun and way less frustrating than the other versions. With that said, there's no groundbreaking elements we can speak of, so only give it a go if you're really pumped about playing Ratatouille. Otherwise, there are better games to spend your time with.
Whenever you jump near something sparkly, be careful to stick the landing. Don't worry about falling off.
What are you waiting around for? What are you...
A star key! I'll bet she's opened those star chests back at the rat colony. They are very well hidden, so you will have to explore to find them all. Great work, Remy. Brings...
Great work, Remy. I'll unfasten that vent. I need something to pry open that vent, like that pencil over there. This vent's not gonna open on its own. I need that...
Ah, cheese, food of the gods. You can collect cheese in Paris. One finds cheese everywhere, so keep your eyes open. Blue cheese is especially valuable, but also rare. Excellent! You got the pencil. Go show your father and make him... Oh, spiders! I hate spiders! Luckily, you can attack them by swiping, or you can also jump in the enemies leave cheese.
I bet I could use some gum to get across this gap. Great! You got the gum! Now get me some string.
All right, let's bring the string back to your father.
Great! Once across, you can grab that recipe. Good job. Check around the building before you go, huh? The colony will help out.
At last, the recipe is in sight. All you have to do is rope walk across the string, and your quest is complete. Rope walking is easy. Jump and try to land just right.
dare you, Remy? What'll it be today? Hey, this isn't a library, you know.
Look here, Remy. You can access other places in Paris by simply walking down these ramps. It's so easy, a child could do it. Remy, you made it! Good work! Now you can begin finding more recipes. There are still some things you need to learn, but don't worry, I'm here to help. Tin cans. Break them open and collect the cheese inside. Don't forget about trading them for other things from the merchant rat. a checkpoint, Remy. If you touch it, then lose all of your health. You'll resume here instead of at the beginning. Nice, isn't it?